Like there was one point, Jon Jones,
Fully locked.
both hands around your hips, and it was like, no,
Not today, bro.
that shit was crazy, dude. I remember seeing that, and I'm like, what? I don't know if I remember somebody doing that, like
Never, ever.
fully hands locked, like you're about to get lifted and fucking spiked, and then next minute underhook, fucking bang. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
So yeah, that's will.
That's freaky. That's other shit.
Will, and then obviously God-given abilities.
Yeah, that's some freak shit.
It's just freak shit, man. That's like when he's on top of you and you just stand up. Like, jiu-jitsu doesn't work. I just stand up, kind of thing, you know. I trained so hard for that fight. That fight was the culmination of my entire career. That was. I'm gonna fight Jon. When I first got into fighting, before I even fought a fight, I'm gonna fight Jon Jones. And I'm gonna beat him, and then we're gonna go from there. But
you pick like the hardest.
That was my entire goal, man.
That's just, I mean, that's
because
the goal.
honestly, I was like, I could beat this guy. I'm mentally stronger than him. I'm physically stronger than him. He's an amazing fighter, a scary looking guy, but I'm better. I was kind of crazy in my analysis of that opponent. So I looked at everything. I looked at his childhood. I looked at his high school sports. I looked at his JUCO. I looked at his wife. I looked at his kids. I looked at everything. I looked at everything and who he was and how he lived his life.
That's crazy, dude.
And I followed him all the way until the fight. Everything he said, everything he did, anything anybody said about him, anything that any of his family said, I listened. And I dialed in exactly who he was and exactly, and I beat him. I obsessed about it for like a year and a half.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it was really crazy. I looked at.
What did you learn in that experience?
So I learned about Jon. And and this is my opinion. Okay, so I don't know. People are gonna say whatever they want, but growing up, he was the runt of his family. Right, his brother Chandler Jones, NFL superstar. His other brother, I forgot his name, but he's also NFL superstar.
Is it Chris?
Chris. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. NFL superstars, big guys, varsity football players, varsity everything. Jon was not. Jon didn't make the varsity team in football. Jon wasn't good at anything. He was kind of the one that was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like the black sheep.
So he had something to prove. That's why he fought with so much vigor and so much power. Mm-hmm. Proving something. No, I'm just as good as my brothers. I'm better. I'm going to be more famous, you know? And that's kind of what drove him through his career, I believe, in my personal opinion.
I can see it.
And that's why when we fought, he was said, oh, Dom's a privileged athlete, 4.0 student guy, like trying to make it a bad thing that that I got a college degree and I'm good at, and I was blessed, right? So that to me told me that he was insecure about who he is versus me. And then he told me, during the press conference, he said, I'm reading this book, Relentless, by Tim Grover. I'm like, oh yeah, I read that book a bunch of times. And I'm actually friends with Tim. And I saw his face change, like, what the heck? Like, bro, I'm levels ahead of you. Like, I'm levels ahead of you. And it kind of made him, I think, at that moment, not that moment, but during that press conference, he realized I wasn't just a guy that he could just run over and do whatever he wants, and it's just he's gonna have his way. He thought he was gonna do that, and then he started talking to me and hearing me talk, and hearing my conviction, and hearing my journey, and how convinced I was that I'm gonna beat you. Like, this is my destiny, bro. Like, I don't care what you say or who you think you are. I'm better than you. God made me better than you, right? So and that's how I broke him down. I looked at all his decisions he made, the wrestling, what his roommates said about him in college and things like that. And And then it was kind of messed up because former training partners and coaches that he worked with were like trying to contact me and to like, hey man, I know John's schedule and all these things you want. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I'm gonna do this straight up.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
I'm gonna do this straight up. I don't need your guys',
the intel.
and the inside information because everybody wants to see John lose. But I'm like, dude, I'm doing this myself. I don't need you, random person who I don't know at all, and trying to tell me. I don't know if this is legit information anyway. Like, but the fact that you're trying to do this to this guy is even more. You're more of a dirtbag than him. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So people are reaching out trying to blah blah blah, and I'm like, nah, man. Like, I'm gonna do this. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This industry is crazy. That's why, like, now that made me be like even more closed door policy. And not letting new people in and not, telling people how I operate because
they'll turn on you quick.
Immediately.
People have the ability to turn on you like that. Yeah.
They had a falling out, him and this guy. So this dude was trying to, I don't know what he was trying to do. Obviously trying to get him to lose by helping me, but I'm not going to take your advice and then, oh yeah, this guy helped me. Like, get out of here, dude. Like,
yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, John. That's what I learned about John. I learned that he's motivated by being the runt, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like, that's been his motivation throughout most of his career.
That's such a valid motivation.
Oh, big time.
Big
time.
Like that.
And then like taking out, like he takes pride in taking out guys that were blessed.
Yeah, like the Daniel Cormier. That's why he hated
Daniel so much.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I looked at all those interviews. I looked at everything. I looked at all of it and just analyzed this man as a human being. And what is his motivation? What makes this guy tick? And that's what it is.
That's so deep, bro.
Right?
Was that the last guy you ever did that? Is that like a common thing?
That was the last time I did that. Well, and then Anthony, I did that because
Yeah.
I usually did that. I did that all before all the other fights. Like, as much information as I could get, I would get, and then just kind of
because knowledge is power, right?
Exactly. You create a profile. You figure out, what could break this guy? What could make this guy keep going? What can I say in interviews to get him to think we're gonna maybe be friends?
Oh, it's the art of war, bro.
Right? Like,
it's the art of war, dude.
So it's exactly that. It's the art of war, man. And then if you look at my Instagram, I don't release anything, no training stuff. I know people probably get mad because they want to see me, hitting meds or doing what I'm going to do. But the less you know about me as a fighter and as your comp, all you could do is create a scary ass monster in your head that's just chasing you every night because you don't actually know what I'm doing. Am I running 10 miles a day? Am I running 20 miles a day? Am I lifting 500 pounds? Am I hitting mitts faster than Tyson in his prime? You don't know what I'm doing. But your mind could create what I could possibly doing. And then you look at what I do to other people. You're like, oh, man.
He could do that to me.
He could do that to me, but worse if I'm not ready, if I'm not doing this. So maybe you're overtraining. Maybe you're undertraining. It's a whole head game that it's the game, man.
Fuck, that's so heavy, dude. Like, I mean... And that fight with John, I mean, obviously, like, the decision doesn't go your way, right?
Yeah.
But so, like, let's just fully put that completely off to the side.
Okay.
Jesus, what a fucking performance, dude. Like,
performance of my life.
Just to throw that straight left that you threw instantly and what followed up by a knee, I think. Like, he tried to clinch pretty well straight away and then bang, a knee.
Yeah, I threw it straight, and then he tried to clinch because he's like, this dude's coming in hot.
He's like,
I need him hard.
Yep.
And then he's like, he broke. Oh, man. I just kept coming.
Yeah, and you just stayed on it, bro, that first round. And there was...
2 judges had me losing that first round.
How, dude?
I don't know, dude.
Fuck. That sucks.
It's one of those things where, like, you could spar with, you've trained with people, right? You've done those things, and you know who wins.
Right? Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a judge's. You know who won.
Yeah.
He knows who won. I know who won.
Well, I mean, he's even said in interviews that post.
That he thought about quitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. See?
That's crazy, dude. And I mean, it also, like,
It's crazy that he didn't.
Amazing to him. You know what I mean? Like the takedowns in the fourth and fifth. I mean, I think if you had to play the judging thing, that's probably what
the fourth and fifth was
the deciding factor was, and I think it was just takedowns.
Well,
judging wouldn't, even though
the new judges wouldn't count those.
I was going to say, even though there were takedowns, but not a lot with the takedowns. Like technically, they were takedowns, and then you add those in like to play that side. That's probably right or wrong what went down.
That was definitely the easy check it off for them, for sure.
Yeah.
But 1 through 3, I don't know what they were talking about. One guy was talking about. One judge said, "Well, Reyes never took a step forward, and how could you win a fight if you don't take a step forward?"
I feel like it was the whole thing was just
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's called setting someone up and moving them into your strikes,
into your range.
Right? Like I moved him into my punches and punched him when he got there. Just because I'm moving doesn't mean I'm running. But it's old boxing judging.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you're pressing forward, you're winning. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And not really understanding the footwork, the new footwork that I brought to that fight. I think the problem was that's really the only way to beat Jon. Right? You have to out footwork him, you have to outmaneuver him, and you can't let him do anything he wants to do. Which is extremely hard to do, but it's going to require a lot of cardio and a lot of movement.
For sure. And just like crazy wrestling defense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, but it was a different game plan style than anybody would have ever, like nobody ever had any idea how to beat the man or even how to approach beating the man. I come out with a completely different method that people never seen before, and the judges didn't even know what to do with it. I think that's what happened there. Like, we don't even know what to do with this. Like, he's landing, but it doesn't look like he's winning from us because he keeps moving backwards.
Yeah.
But
what was the experience like, though? I mean, just to go 25 minutes with the baddest, like he is the baddest man on the planet. Like it just is what it is.
Yep. It was cool. It was really, really, I don't want to sound like an a-hole, but it was like underwhelming because I thought he was going to be better.
But underwhelming is probably what you want to go for.
Oh, for sure. Well, in the fact that like I thought he was going to be stronger because I heard all these stories about how when Jon grabs you can't, it's over. Oh my God. Like literally, like people from Jackson were saying this, like all these professional fighters, like were saying how freakishly strong he is. And I'm like, okay. And when we first clinched, like you said in the beginning, when we first clinched, I need him. And then I was like, is that it? And then we actually clinched. And then I broke the clinch and then landed the elbow on the clinch to exit,
Yeah, what, left elbow off the fence?
Off the fence.
Yeah.
The first time he pushed me against the cage and I jostled position,
yeah,
elbowed him over the top. And
that was clean, dude.
It was super clean.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it.
How did it not cut him, though?
The dude is extreme. I'll give him he's the toughest mother effer I've ever come across in my whole life. Like,
yeah, that was a clean shot.
His chin is the uppercut. Rotated his whole head and he's okay. Maybe he wasn't that okay, but
he lived.
Okay, he lived.
Yeah, he was still in there.
That's Jon's toughness is probably the best in the world. Like I hit him as hard as I could a few times. I head kicked him.
Yeah.
And he just ate it.
Fuck.
And that's what people are like, oh, you can't leave in the judge's hands. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. At the highest level, there's some people that you're not going to finish. You're just not. It's not going to happen.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.